Continuing our coverage at the Scouting Combine, joining us now, Iowa edge rusher Lukas Van Ness.
A.K.A. Hercules.
Good morning, guys. Thank you for having me on.
Good to have you, man. Good to see you here.
So, what do you think of this so far, whole experience?
You know, it's been great so far. I was part of the early arrival group. I came in, they had the West Coast guys coming on Sunday because I trained out in Los Angeles. So got in early on Sunday. Last couple of days been full of interviews, medicals, the stuff you got to get out for the first couple of days. But it's been really cool getting to know a lot of the, different guys from all the different schools. Just going through this experience has been a lifelong dream, and it's been nothing but fun so far.
So, I mean, let's address the nickname. Where did it come from?
Okay.
Where did it manifest? And how do you keep this Herculean look going all the time?
Yeah, I think it started with one of my teammates, Noah Shannon. About a year ago, he did an interview over the summer, beginning, preseason.
Right.
He kind of mentioned that my body type looks a little bit like Hercules, and since then it's stuck. And it's kind of a nickname that, the media and some of my teammates, have been calling me through the years. And I think I just attested to, all my hard years in the weight room.
Right.
Focusing on my body, working hard, and if you spend that time in the weight room, it's going to pay off.
Well, it's all right. So tell everybody, tell me and Mike too. What are you going to weigh? What do you think?
Yep.
Height, right?
Yep.
Where are you at right now?
I'll be 6'5", 275.
275. What'd you go into college at, Hercules?
235.
Man, 40 pounds in college.
Well, but how tall were you then?
Yeah.
I was probably about 6'3".
Yeah.
When did you first have that moment? And I'm always fascinated to hear when this happens for a guy that you knew that I got something going on here. That I got a chance. I got a chance to be pretty good at this sport.
I redshirted my freshman year. Came in during COVID. It was, as we all know, an interesting year.
Right.
Had the opportunity to play both my sophomore and my junior year. I played defensive tackle last year, so I played at inside around 265, a little light.
Yeah.
And
speed.
And I just had a lot of success. I was really enjoying the game. Was learning so many different things. That's why we love this game, because there's just so many different aspects to learn. It's every day it's an opportunity to improve yourself. But that light bulb started coming on a little bit during my sophomore year. They bumped me outside this previous year, played a little bit defensive end.
And that's when you knew I got a chance.
Felt a little bit more comfortable. That's what I played growing up,
right.
And that's when I realized I had the opportunity to go and achieve that dream.
Well, the craziest thing is I know about your play on the field, sacks, all that, but the first thing I ever heard about you kind of in this draft process is I told you we're kind of getting out of the NFL regular season mode is hey, this guy from Iowa that everybody loves he never started a game, right?
Yep.
That's the first thing that gets attached to you. Very odd. Obviously, you dominated and you played the second most snaps I think of anybody.
Yes,
but why no start? What is that all about?
That was starting a game or not. That's just kind of the process and the way the University of Iowa does things.
Yeah.
They were fair and consistent with everyone.
Right.
I waited my turn. I had a couple older guys in front of me.
So they got the start, and that's
yes,
you got the
and,
pecking order.
Regardless, like you mentioned, I still had some of the highest snaps on the defense. And what I realized is, every time you got on the field, you have an opportunity to go prove yourself.
Yeah.
So you were a hockey player
at
one point.
All the way until my
Could you
senior
imagine
year.
this guy on
man.
skates?
What? I'd be skating the other way.
I used to watch Chara growing up, so I try to replicate him a little bit.
Okay, all right.
What caused you to go in the direction of football instead of hockey?
Yeah, so I did a little bit Pop Warner, some flag football stuff growing up. My first year of real organized football was my freshman year, and like you mentioned, always played hockey. Kind of want to get involved with the community, just try out this football thing and really see how I liked it, and instantly fell in love with the sport. Everything regarding the sport, the adversity you face every day, the challenges, and getting to go out there every day and hit the guy across from you.
Yeah.
We still do that in hockey, unless they are skating the other way, which they would be doing. You get to a point where you can't find anybody to let you hit
I'm going somewhere else.
Fell in love with the game, and I've stuck with it since.
I'm always interested to know, the players' take. Hey, we're media, the evaluators, but in college, played Big Ten, big time football, some bowl games, whatever else. Who's the best player you played against? The one guy that always stands out, you're like, damn, that guy was something else.
Every year we had to play Northwestern.
Right.
And there's Peter Skoronsky.
Yeah.
A guy that I actually kind of trained with and won against in high school. So going against each other for, quite a while now.
Holy cow. You went against him in high school?
Yes, we did.
Wow.
My junior year.
Wow.
So we're in the same class as well.
So you got a personal fun battle going with this guy.
So we know each other pretty well.
So he knows your moves? Is that what you kind of feel like sometimes?
I know what he's going to do too.
Right. Yeah. All right, good.
Let's flip it around. Who's the guy that when you're out there on the field in the NFL and you see him in his uniform, you're going to be, oh my God, I can't believe I'm here.
I'm in the NFL.
I can't believe that guy's right there.
It's got to be the Super Bowl champ. It's got to be Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
I'm excited to, get out there and sit there in that position at defensive end and look in the backfield and see Patrick sitting back there. So I'm excited and looking forward to it.
Unless he's your teammate, you never know.
Would you
rather he be your teammate, or would you rather be chasing him around?
I think a teammate.
Your chances are better to win a Super Bowl, I think. If you join them, I think you got a better chance. You're right. I agree with that. With the defensive end, you think you got some versatility, like some defensive tackle on third downs and everything like that. What I want to know a little bit with Iowa, because I'm always impressed. You guys don't always have the fastest skill guys, but Coach Ferentz's, he seems to always have his players NFL ready.
Yes, sir.
Right? What it is about him, his magic, that kind of makes you guys prepared for these moments?
I think that's just the culture you come into when you commit to the university. From the get-go, they teach you the process, and taking a few years to develop yourself, develop your body. They do a great job at, taking guys who are a little under the radar, developing their toolbox, developing their skills to an NFL skill set. They did a great job with me with doing that. I came in a little raw.
Skinny. They let you build your body,
exactly.
right?
They built out my body a little bit, helped me, perfect some of my skills. And I think, again, Coach Ferentz, and, all the other position coaches do a great job, at developing, under the radar guys.
Yeah.
What's the tape that you
want me to
say,
watch first, or
yes,
you want to watch?
Yeah, what's the tape you want people to watch, and what's the tape you don't want people to watch?
I feel like I had a lot of success, over my last couple of years. Regardless, the game, I felt like I was able to make an impact.
Any one game, though, where you felt like, oh, man, that was a game I kind of dominated and kicked ass?
This year we had a little extra for Purdue. Since last year they got us at home. Ruined I think it was our 3-game win streak that we had going on. So I felt like I brought a little extra juice when we played them at home this year. Had to get a little payback. And then, in terms of games that you mentioned that I didn't, like as well.
Didn't have your best game. We all had those.
Yeah. I think I just walked away a little unhappy with the Michigan game.
Okay.
Obviously, our team really wanted that,
right.
And that was a tough loss for us. And I think I could have done a little better to help change the outcome of that game.
What's growing up? I know you're a Blackhawks fan in hockey.
Yes.
They just traded away one of your players to the Rangers. So sorry, don't cry or anything. Okay, come on. And then football. You all Chicago? You Chicago guy through and through, like Bears.
Yep.
You grew up Bears fan.
Grew up a Bears fan. You just sport all the Chicago sports.
Yeah,
so
cool.
Blackhawks fan, Bears fan.
What about? Do you lean on other guys that have been in, AJ Epinesa, right, in Buffalo?
Mm-hmm.
Is he somebody that you've reached out to, since the end of the season to kind of feel out the process and what to expect?
Yeah, I've had some communication with AJ. There's another guy, Chauncey Golston, was a guy that I came in currently on the Cowboys.
Sure.
He was a guy that was an older classman when I came in as a freshman. So AJ was a little bit, before my time.
Yeah.
So I had a year with Chauncey, and we kind of built a stronger relationship together. And that's somebody who has, had success at this next level, and felt that I could reach out to him, and he's gave me some good advice and been able to, lead the way and, teach me some things to, help me out.
Yeah, cool.
The interview process here so far, other than talking to idiots like us, when you're talking to teams, what's been the vibe? You just give us an idea. New experience for you.
Yes,
How has that gone?
It's been really cool, honestly. Obviously, there's a little bit of nerves and, a little anxious going into it.
Of course.
But, as I think I've sat down with around 10 to 15 teams now over the last couple of days. Some are a little, do the interview process a little different than others.
Yeah, they all do, right.
But for the most part, you sit down, you watch a little film, you coach them up, teach them what you know. I teach them the Iowa defense in the best way that I know it. Talk to them on a personal level so they can get to know you. As this is the most, the first opportunity a lot of them have been able to see you in person. But I've really enjoyed it. Again, it's been a great experience sitting down with some of these legendary coaches and getting to shake their hand and meet them.
Yeah.
I'm just excited to play for one of these franchises.
Yeah, dream come true, that's for sure. All right, so you're doing the whole combine? We doing everything?
Yes, sir.
All right. What, like bench too? You doing bench with those long-ass arms and everything?
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Doing everything.
All right, cool. That's always good to hear. I mean, you want to give us like expectations, 40 time? Like, what do you think? What are you shooting for? What's your hopeful? You don't have to put yourself out there if you don't want to.
I think I'll let my work on Thursday.
Okay, yeah. You don't have to put that extra pressure on you.
Yes, sir.
All right, I got you. All right, well, one last thing. Like, who's your idol right now? Like, who's the guy you watch when you turn on a game on Sunday and go, damn, this is the guy I like watch rush to the passer?
Well, unfortunately, he did just retire, but I used to love watching J.J. Watt.
Yeah, okay.
A lot of the ways that he rushes and the way that he impacts the game is someone that I would turn on Sundays, and I was just excited to watch every single week.
Yeah, cool.
That's a good guy to.
It's pretty
good guy to look up to. And there's a J.J. Watt void now in the NFL. So
Herculean void.
Hercules can take over for the retired Hercules. All right, we'll wish you all the best. We appreciate some of your time, and we can't wait to see you out there.
Thank you, guys.
On Sundays, either with the Chiefs or chasing around the Chiefs quarterback.
Yeah, right.
Way.
I appreciate it.
Thank
you, guys.
Lukas Van Ness. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.